I can tell you one thing. I don't intend to have too many more questions. I tell you that.
You tell me that.
Finished.
Okay.
I need an offer of proof as to what you believe her testimony would be, meaning what topics, and are they topics that have not already been covered?
She said just generally, like what topics, but he can't think of anything because literally he was just going to repeat himself. It's like, what? Well, now you're stealing my entire plan, Your Honor. I was just going to like say the same shit, like repeatedly. She would get frustrated, and then I would see that look on her face, and then I would be happy.
You need to provide that letter. The bottom line is I'm not going to allow any questioning without having that letter. So the state has the ability to question you about that, or question this witness, and to look at the veracity of what your claims are here. When
Yes, Gino,
I may take an early lunch. If that's in your cell, then you can go get it and bring it. But without that letter, I'm not allowing this line of questioning. Do you have the letter with you in court?
I just said no. How many times I got to say the same thing?
A billion times.
You know, sometimes, sir, I don't hear what you say because you interrupt me so much or you answer quietly. And I'm taking notes and I'm focused on probably a dozen things at the same time.
But if I say something under my breath, everybody seems to hear it. Everybody seems to hear that just fine.
In a quiet courtroom, yes, we can hear it very clearly.
Everybody assumes that it has to be disparaging.
Once again, you're doing this tactic
because
it's
not a tactic. It's facts.
It's facts. To some other reason.
It's facts. Because I find it hard to believe that
all
of a sudden nobody hears what I say.
I'm going to let the state make a record of why they believe it's objectionable, because I haven't let them do that. I've given you multiple opportunities to tell me why you believe it's...
I didn't get these pictures from nobody else. Why was somebody else?
The record will reflect you have two pictures.
It was your mother, because you told her to send them to you. There's your answer.
Pictures that you believe were from this witness.
That I know is from.
You know it?
You believe.
Do you know it, Darrell? But do you know it now?
I'll ask the state their position on all of this.
Okay.
My position, Your Honor, is that these pictures, first of all, should not be admissible. One, because of a discovery violation. We've never seen them before. Two, because we have reason to believe that he did not Erica Patterson. He is on a jail phone call talking to his mother, Dawn Woods, about Dawn Woods sending these photographs to him. Now,
that's a lie. I object to
that.
Let
the state make their argument without interruption, sir.
That's a lie, though.
It's a lie.
I believe that these photographs are designed to make a suggestion to the jury that Erica Patterson is a bad mom.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is what the defendant is trying to do.
You sound about right.
If we go down that road, then we would be forced to counter that claim. First of all, it doesn't make her an incredible witness, if it's even true. And second of all, if we go down that road, we would be forced to counter that claim by pointing out that not only does the defendant not live with the child in question, he doesn't live with any of the other children that he has. He impregnated Erica Patterson when she was a minor in Nevada, and for doing so, he was convicted of statutory sexual seduction, pled guilty in March of 2007 to that felony offense, and is a sex offender on the registry as a result. So if there's any causation that would lead to Erica Patterson being a bad mom, Mr. Brooks has a direct role in that causation.
And that's
furthermore,
I object to that.
You object to it, Darrell? I mean, you the one that made her a baby mama at 15. Her first baby mama issue, baby daddy issue, I guess we should say, was you. She was 15, very much a minor. Okay, she didn't have those 5 kids you like to throw in her face. Then she just had the one that you knocked her up with as a minor. So yeah, I'd say you sent her on the path for sure. Your fault.
That's a lie.
Let him
at
finish.
the end of the day,
Let him finish.
If we gonna open the door on that,
Brooks.
no, since he want to make a record and not be accurate, so let's be accurate all on the record. Since you think you know so much,
once
so
again,
we can
Mr.
open
Brooks
the door
is
on.
being
We can
loud,
open the door on how old she told me she was when
interrupting.
We met. We can ask that question
he is
too. Then
over the top, animated right now.
Ain't that something? Look at him. Now this is the face Darrell has, like right now as we speak. This is the face that Darrell's making in the prison right now. And there's something that's coming towards it that will make sense as to why he's making this particular face. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my God, it's hilarious.
Mr. Brooks, I'm ordering you to sit down and to let the state finish.
No, I'm not going to sit here and let somebody be inaccurate on the record and lie on the record.
Right. Under Illinois versus Allen, I've warned him repeatedly. He's being removed from the courtroom. And you know what? Let me dial that back. We're just going to take an early lunch, 1 hour. We'll be back. And unless he brings that letter, need to show it is inadmissible, shall not be questioned, and under 906.11, I will declare the cross-examination closed. Thank you, we're in recess, 1 hour.
Yeah, we do.
Get your facts straight.
Get your facts straight. You know what I'm saying? Your fax machine is crooked. Get it straight. Darrell got so triggered. Why did Darrell get so triggered? Darrell, calm down. It's okay. Shut the hell up. You know what I'm saying?
Brooks, and as that
Darrell got his paperback Bible
exchange went on, it got, from my perspective, he got louder. He got more disrespectful.
He did.
I think it's fair to say his behavior was volatile. And it's because of that I called an early lunch.
And she went in the room and she ate a freedom sandwich while Darrell sat in there in the back, and I guess maybe they brought him like a, prison platter. They brought Darrell a prison platter. Oh, yes.
And it's because of all of those things.
Sherry.
Even when I attempt to give the warning that he will be removed upon further behavior, he immediately interrupts and says, "Are you holding me in contempt?" A very clear indication to this court that he is attempting and trying and actually disrupting the proceedings so that I can't make an accurate record. Like I said, it's challenging. That is why he is in the other courtroom, muted, so that I can make the record. And I will confirm with my clerk and the bailiffs. I should have done this at the beginning, but I believe, thank you, my clerk did confirm that they can see, they can hear, we can see as well. It is this court's opinion that Mr. Brooks is blatantly pushing the limits of what I have tried to establish in terms of when to call witnesses, how to call witnesses. He pushes the limits on asking questions that are not probative, that are not relevant, or that directly contravene a prior ruling by this court related to other acts evidence. That ruling that I made was to the benefit of Darrell Brooks, not the state. Darrell Brooks, the defendant. There have been multiple witnesses who have themselves stopped, basically looked at me and, can I answer that question, basically? Is there nonverbal communication to me? Or some have actually said, I don't think I can answer that. There have been other witnesses where I've stopped them from answering so as not to bring in the other act's evidence. The most recent of which occurred this morning with Erica Patterson, and the repeated questions to her related to
the like button,
either information she did or didn't give the detective when the detective spoke to her on 2 separate occasions. There's been other questions throughout the trial to, I believe, to Detective Guth directly and other witnesses who had information about why that may have been the case. But this witness, I think, has been very, very careful to not run afoul of the court's prior ruling. That leads to the evidence claimed by Mr. Brooks that he has related to a letter and photographs. As I indicated before the break, I've looked at both 906.16 and 906.08. Those are generally 2 of the statutes dealing with character evidence. That would be 906.08. 906.16 deals with bias. From my perspective, the questions that were actually asked and answered about do we have a child together? Well, he didn't ask it quite that way. I'm summarizing, but regarding their common child, regarding whether he sees the child on or off, where they met, things of that nature, are solely to attack her character, as a mother, which is wholly improper. The only character evidence that would remotely be allowed under, at least for a witness under these circumstances, would be character for truthfulness, which would not even be from this witness, was sent by Erica Patterson, and then the photos. The issue as it relates to this witness is
that he's a Darrell. The issue is that he's a Darrell. I mean, like, if you put it all together in a package, the issue is he's so busy being a Darrell that he can't not be a Darrell. And that's the problem we're having.
A single charge.
He's so Darrell-esque.
It is a battery charge.
Yep, it's batteries.
The date a violation that is alleged to be November 21 of 2021 by Erica Patterson. And other questions along those lines that were questions that were objected to by the state and that I sustained.
Because
Mr. Brooks would open the door to what only could be described as very damaging evidence against him, related to the other acts evidence, related to whether he has a relationship with the children or not, and frankly, a topic I am not going to open the door to. I'm not going to allow.
Yeah, fuck that.
It's a side issue. It is not relevant.
Fuck you, Darrell. This looks like a Japanese. I'm sorry, Darrell. Just kidding. Not sorry.
But certainly, one could argue,
based
based
upon
upon the questions,
Don't be like that, Darrell.
topics that
It's
the
okay.
door could be opened to.
It's okay, Darrell.
It is my duty as the judge assigned to this case to ensure that the trial is fair, that relevant and probative evidence comes in, and that it is done so in a way that's effective and efficient for the presentation of evidence, including the testimony of witnesses. And so I am not going to allow questions related to the children in common or child in common, at least any further, between Mr. Brooks and Ms. Patterson. They met, how they met, the nature of their relationship now, whether there's been any contact between them since he was arrested and going forward. Because nothing that I've been presented with would suggest it relates not only to relevant and probative information, but even to her credibility as a witness.
Speaking of probative, right, Darrell? It's very probative.
I will give Mr. Brooks a final opportunity to make an offer of proof as to why he believes my decision is wrong.
Tell us, Darrell.
That needs to include an offer of proof as to why he believes this letter
Why you believe that, Darrell?
is from Erica Patterson and why it's relevant to the issues in this case.
It ain't. It really ain't.
He came in to the courtroom
In the
this
chat.
afternoon.
Pretty
It is not in here, but in an adjacent courtroom. I want to make some additional findings as well and kind of just tie up a few loose ends for the record.
Yeah, tie the loose ends up.
As the Supreme Court in Illinois versus Allen stated, it is essential to the proper administration of criminal justice that dignity, order, and decorum be the hallmarks of all court proceedings in our country. This court has utilized an adjacent courtroom with superior audio and video capabilities that I believe are the functional equivalent of being present in this courtroom.
Yes.
Mr. Brooks's behavior today alone was disruptive. I would absolutely characterize it as stubbornly defiant.
Ooh, unicorn.
It was interruptive.
Hey, boo.
And it certainly aggravates the proper administration of the criminal justice system of this trial. There was nothing dignified about it. There was nothing orderly about it.
Did you make your record?
I did.
Am I ever going to get a chance to make the record without being interrupted?
Mr. Brooks, I'm asking you,
That's a
the
no.
first question is, do you want to come back into this courtroom?
Not if you're going to hold me in contempt.
I need to continue with the trial. So if you don't answer yes or no, then I will presume you want to be in that courtroom, and you'll, by your conduct, waive your right to be in this courtroom.
By what conduct? I didn't consent to
By
being held
failing
in contempt.
to answer my question, sir. So I'll ask you again.
Are you going to hold me in contempt? I don't want to be held in contempt.
I will ask you again, sir. Would you like to come back to this courtroom?
I'm supposed to be in there anyway.
So twice now I've asked him. He has not answered a yes or no. Mr. Brooks, I'll ask you a third time. Would you like to come back into this courtroom?
Not going to hold me in contempt.
Given his yes.
That's funny. You can hear him from through the door and you can hear him through his mic. So it's like double.
I will close the courtroom. He'll be brought over, and then we'll continue when he comes
Girl,
into
you're
this
going to have to
courtroom.
put him right back out. This is a waste of time.
And for the record, I do not consent to being called that name.
And for the record, nobody gives a fuck.
Everything she's saying perfectly clear without the headphones. Oh, that's a trick to help hold everything up too, right?
Interesting. You know, I never noticed this before. We can hear him. Like, they shut off the mic in this room, but they didn't shut it off where he's at. So we can hear him talking his shit in the transition. That was funny. You can still hear him talking because they didn't shut off his mic.
Let's take up the issue of the letter and the photographs and your offer of proof, sir.
Yeah, let's hear this offer of proof you got, Darrell.
I don't need no offer of proof.
I'll ask you a second time. Do you have an offer of proof to provide, sir?
We can go past all that. I don't need to ask them questions. It's too much of an issue. It's too much of a problem.
Mr. Brooks, I'm going to ask you for a third time. Do you have an offer of proof related
I just said
to
no.
the route?
I just said no. I just said that.
All right, thank you. Then based upon there being no offer of proof, then my decision stands. As to the continuation of the examination of Ms. Patterson, I would like an offer of proof as to what you believe her probative and relevant testimony will be from this point forward.
I mean, I don't know how she's going to answer the rest of the questions. There's not that many questions left. I was almost done.
I ain't even had that many questions left. I was almost done for. I was rudely interrupted by you, Your Honor. I had two more questions to ask, and that was it. What questions do you have? Huh? Darrell, you just doing it off the fly. It's okay. Just say that. But you pretended like you had a list of things to talk about. It's just funny.
What topics generally were you going to question her about?
Yeah, what was you going to ask about? The relationship? Okay. Was she the best? What were you the best she ever had? Was you going to ask her that? I can answer it for you. Fuck no. There.
I guess I'll have to look in here because so much that happened since.
Oh yeah, so much.
Over the past hour and a half or so.
Lots of things happened. Okay.
I can tell you one thing. I don't intend to. I don't intend to have too many more questions. I tell you that.
You tell me that.
Finished.
Okay.
I need an offer of proof as to what you believe her testimony would be, meaning what topics. And are they topics that have not already been covered either through her direct examination from the state, your cross-examination, or already covered by your direct?
I don't remember.
That's funny. That's funny. Like, she said just generally, like, what topics? Like, but he can't think of anything because literally he was just going to repeat himself and say the same shit over and over again that he already said. Like, it's like, what? Well, now you're stealing my entire plan, Your Honor. I was just going to say the same shit repeatedly until, hopefully what I was hoping would happen was that she would get frustrated and then I would see that look on her face and then I would be happy. That's what I was thinking. But I mean, clearly, Your Honor, you can see it hasn't been working in my favor. Did I nail it, Darrell? I feel like I nailed it.
Remember her, what do you mean by related to her direct? Is that from the last time she testified?
From the first date that she testified and from today. What new topics will
you be? I don't
be?
remember everything she testified to the first time. It was 2 weeks ago.
Well, this is your opportunity to present relevant and probative evidence. But under 906.11, she's already been questioned now twice by you. So what new topics do you intend to question her about when she comes back on the witness stand?
What do you mean by new topics?
Topics that you haven't already covered.
What, pursuant to the police report or something? Is that what you're asking? No, I don't understand.
I'm asking you, I'll ask you once again, sir, give me an offer of proof as to what you believe your questioning will be as to Ms. Patterson going forward.
And you say it related to topics, right?
You can just give me the topics. I think that's fair.
I wanted to ask questions about the police reports. That was the last few questions. That's why I'm saying it was only...
Is it a statement that she wrote?
I don't know if it's a statement that she wrote in here.
Do you see a written statement with her signature on it?
I'll have to go through all the paperwork.
Is there a written statement from Ms. Patterson? It's my understanding Detective Guth spoke to her on both occasions. Is that right?
Yes, with Detective Barrett with him on the first occasion. Detective Barrett wrote that first report. Both interviews were also recorded.
Previously provided with discovery. What about the police report, sir? Do you want to question her about so I know with specificity?
Oh, I'm looking at it now. How many officers did reports? Because it seemed like it's more than just 2. At least from this paperwork, is more than 2.
Mr. Brooks is referring to. I can maybe help him try and explain, but
sure.
I don't know what he's talking about. So I've got pages 2 and 3 out of 6 from Detective Barron's report under Waukesha Police Department incident number 21-047533. This is one of the 2 reports we've been talking about regarding the statements that Ms. Patterson gave to detectives on November 21st and then on November 22nd. This is the first statement.
Oh, what is it?
Is that the officer you just said?
Yes.
That's Bryant. She was like,
What about that report do you want to question this witness about?
The report is not in order, so again, as I stated before, I would have to read it.
God, Sham, hey, boo.
Brooks, I trust that you're prepared. These are your witnesses. So what about that report do you want to question Ms. Patterson on?
I just stated 3 times. I would have to read a little bit of this to form the question.
Under my authority, under 906.11, then, and given that this witness was initially called by the state, there was a full and fair opportunity for cross-examination by Mr. Brooks at that time, and they had ample time this morning to question her. I will declare that his questioning of her to be closed. I will bring the witness out on the witness stand and then we'll bring the jury out, and then I will simply ask the state if there are any questions, and then we'll move on from there.
Just so I understand what do you mean by closed?
I'm not allowing you to ask her any additional questions, given your full and fair opportunity that you had previously when she was called by the state, and given the opportunity you had this morning and your failure to identify for this court any probative and relevant information that she would testify to about what's in that report.
How do I, first of all, the report isn't even in order. So I would have to essentially read at least some of it to even ask a
Mr. Brooks,
question.
this is your witness. I expect that you will be prepared and you will not cause delay by any lack thereof. So I'm bringing the witness out. The jury will come out, and you will not have another opportunity to ask any additional questions unless the state asks questions on cross-examination.
Damn, Darrell, you done fucked it up.
Bringing the witness out for
I have to do that in front of the jury.
Man,
they're gonna bring her out one last time so that she can see that you failed. There. Are you happy with the answer now? No? Oh.
Get to that ruling too. Can you give me
a
lawful law why?
Your objection is noted for the record. If you start interrupting me when the jury comes out or make any commentary, you will be removed to the other courtroom, and that's.
So I'm being held in contempt again?
I got water too, baby.
No,
Look,
it's not
see?
contempt, sir. It's a finding under Illinois
equal
versus
balance.
Allen. It's a warning that you will forfeit your right
So I might
to
as
be
well
present.
I might as well have just
No
stayed
such
over there.
contempt finding.
I might as well have just stayed over there then if I was
Mr.
going to get held in
Brooks,
contempt.
that decision is for you and you alone to make, and it is based on your conduct. If you're going to continue,
Just take me over there because I'm not finna get held in contempt for nothing.
I have not held you in contempt.
You did. You're attempting to hold me in contempt.
I'm going to keep you in here because
that's the whole reason I didn't want to
call
come.
the next witness, and I'm going to need to bring you over in any event.
That's the whole reason why I didn't want to come over here, because
Then why
you
did
find
you,
a reason
Darrell?
to hold me in contempt.
Well, I'm finding a reason, and it's not contempt, but I'd find a reason to remove you based upon your disruptive outbursts.
Well, then remove me if that's what you want to do.
Then remove me
I
then.
don't want to do it, sir. I
Obviously
want you
you
in
do.
this courtroom.
Obviously you do. You brought it up before we can even get to.
All right. Mr. Brooks has forfeited his right to be present in this courtroom for the remainder of this witness.
So did I actually forfeit that right?
You have forfeited your right to be present.
And how did I forfeit that right, Your Honor?
All right. We're going off the
By the means of I said so. That's how. Remove me then.
record so that he can be removed to the other courtroom, and he can call his next witness after we complete with Ms. Patterson and giving the state an opportunity from the neighboring courtroom. And once you can promise to this court that you will abide by the rules of decorum and civility, and if you're willing to conduct yourself consistently within that, then I will allow you to come back over.
So why am I being held in contempt now?
I'm not holding you in contempt.
Then what did I do?
All right, I'm going to step off. You've interrupted repeatedly.
You did the same thing you're doing now. You won't shut the hell up. There. There's your answer. You feel satisfied and happy with yourself now? No? Oh. Darrell, you just got back over here. If you had shut the hell up, if they asked her any more questions, then you would get a chance to question her. But now they're going to say no, they ain't got no more questions. just to, just to piss you off, You did that to yourself, bro. This is when Judge Darrell was at her happiest. When she scooches his little ass on over and get out of the courtroom. She's like, oh, thank you. I feel like I can do my job now more efficiently. And it smells better in here also. Ain't that right? Ain't that right, Judge? High five.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Just for the record, Mr. Brooks is appearing from another courtroom. That should not affect your deliberation or verdicts in any way. At this time, does the state have any questions for this witness?
I don't have any questions for Ms. Patterson.
All right. Thank you.
Now, see, they may have asked her some stuff, but they knew how much he really wanted to ask her some more shit, and talk to her some more. So they said, nah, because if we say anything, then he can come back and say something else. Like he can still talk to her. So they said, nah, we good. They said, no, we good. We're good. She can go. Oh.
Ma'am, you may step down.
So him being pissed now is going to be for that reason. Hit the like button.